Welcome everybody back to another episode of We Talk Film. I am your host, as always, Barry, joined as always by Clayton. How you doing, Clayton?
Hello, Barry. I am doing great on this fortuitous evening. Wouldn't you say so yourself?
Oh yes, because we have something very special planned for today's episode. As you can tell, we're all a bit fancy dressed. We've got a fancy new layout on the podcast, the video version. You can see us. Everything's all gold. Because what are we doing today, Clayton?
Well, today is the first ever annual event that we would like to present on this channel. Because today is the We Talk Awards night ceremony thing.
Yeah, it is.
We're in front of a live audience for tonight. It's very special. There are 30,000 people in this building.
So many people
here to see me and Barry, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
See? Oh, I didn't like that one.
I didn't like that one.
No, today we're giving out awards for what we think are the best films of the year and the worst films of the year and the rest of the films of the year. Everyone gets an award. We're calling the awards the Golden Berries. The greatest films of the year will win a Golden Berry.
No, a Golden Berry.
We have real trophies.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll give them out to the nominees when they come up on stage. Don't worry. Because it's an audio podcast, and I hope you're not watching it on YouTube because we can make that joke and people will believe it. All right, but before we get into our main event, our big awards thing, I'd like to throw us over to the newsroom for the final time of the year. That's the wrong button. Yeah. It wouldn't be a live event without technical difficulties. That's our proof that we're doing this live in front of an audience. 30,000 people, 40,000 people now, 10,000 more people just walked in the door. There they are.
That's a lot of people. Oh, it's a lot of people, Clayton. They're everywhere. I'm getting surrounded. I'm getting mobbed.
Barry, no! They've taken Barry. They've got him. They're pulling his entrails out through his teeth. Oh my god. You got Barry! Okay, in honor of Barry's death and departure from the podcast, the news this week. Kicking it off the news, we got a couple new first looks at some things releasing next year that I'm really excited about. The first is we got a new photo, new screenshot, I guess, from Joker, Filet Adieu, Joker 2, the sequel. It's got Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix just kind of chilling in like what looks like a church or something. I'm quite unsure. It's not really giving anything away, but it looks good. I don't know. I'm still very excited for the musical Joker movie. That idea alone sounds like it shouldn't work, so I really want it to because the best ideas are often the worst ideas when it comes to movies. It's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Right? I guess that makes sense. And we also got a first look at Robert Eggers' new film, Nosferatu, starring Willem Dafoe as a vampire hunter. And this looks cool. This looks really like both kind of old Hollywood inspired, but also with that more modern take. Because obviously he just did The Lighthouse with Willem Dafoe as well. And that felt very similar. So it feels like this is the kind of Nosferatu story, the whole vampire aesthetic of old films.
Nice.
Mixed with like modern day technology. And I really love the look of some of the shots we've gotten from that film. So I'm really excited to see that when it comes out next year.
Yeah, next year.
So that would be really cool. And then the final story this week is a Marvel one, of course. We cannot escape the superhero
It's
drama.
always Marvel.
Oh, God, it's always Marvel because something comes out every week. We're currently watching Season 2 of What If, so expect a review to come out for that when that's over as well. But this isn't about What If. This is about Echo, the next MCU thing that's planned. It's coming out January 9th, and the unique thing about this is all episodes are coming out January 9th on Disney+. The whole show is being dropped at once, which they've never done. Not even for What If. That's coming out daily, whereas it's like they're giving everything on one day for Echo. I think it's 6 episodes, but it's insane. And it's also going to be the first like proper MA Disney Plus series. Obviously, Werewolf by Night was their first MA special, but this one is straight up an MA series. It's going to have violence and blood and all that sorts of lovely stuff. So you can, if you're on Disney Plus and you've got parental restrictions in place, you probably won't see it pop up on your main menu, which is kind of insane to say because it's a superhero thing. Like that's a Disney superhero thing.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
pretty
Disney
crazy,
superhero thing. Yeah.
and it also looks good. So we'll
Yeah.
definitely check
Well,
that one
coming
out
off
as
the
well.
trailers and stuff like that, it
Yeah.
honestly looks amazing. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's your hints for like some of the early episodes next year. Is all Marvel shit. Like that's
So
all we're
it's
doing.
always Marvel. That's all we do. We always do Marvel.
It's every
Marvel and
second
Star
episode
Wars.
we've done is Marvel. Yeah, it's or both. Sometimes that's when it's really
Yeah.
crazy. If we got
Yep.
both, you know, shit's going down. Oh God! All right. Do Barry.
Okay.
Do you know
is
what
it
time
time?
it is?
It's time
I think it's
to
time.
get some awards. Come on, everyone. Get around. Get around. Yeah, that's right.
Everyone, crowd around.
The crowd around.
Come around the campfire, children.
Come
We'll
around
tell you a
campfire
story.
now. All right.
Okay.
So, yes,
Sorry.
after a very long year of doing the podcast, that's also been very short for us. Like, we've been doing this, this will be the 43rd episode?
Jesus
far
Christ.
as
Yeah,
I'm
something
right.
like that.
Yeah, because we only started like in February of this year. But next year, though, oh, that's going to be a whole another thing. But yes, we thought it would be best to obviously go through this year, talk about and give awards to the films and TV shows that we have talked about on this podcast this past year. So make sure after today's podcast, you know, the ones we do give awards to, go back and look at our podcast when we did talk about them in full discussion and everything like that. You know, they're all up on the channel. They're all up on Spotify and everywhere else you can catch your podcast needs. So, Clayton, are you going to start it off today with our first one being worst film of the year?
Okay, so 2023. Let me sum it up for you in a few words. What the fuck? Because this has been probably like the best year for films of the 2020s, but also has had some of the worst films of the 2020s. In 10 years' time, when people look back at this decade, they'll probably listen to this podcast, no doubt, and then come to the exact same conclusion that I was right. Because our first award, is the worst film of the year, and the award goes to The Flash.
Yeah!
We didn't even need nominees for this one. Yeah,
People boo The Flash.
It's The Flash.
Yeah, it's The Flash.
It's The Flash.
It's The Flash.
This is
Flash,
the one movie that came out this year that there's not a single ounce of goodness in it.
Nope,
This is like
nope.
a chocolate chip cookie if you just threw it in the bin and you didn't eat it. And that's all you got of the chocolate chip cookie.
That's all you
That's
did.
what The Flash
Even
is.
though I think I reviewed it a bit more higher than the Marvels, but I honestly still think The Flash is a worse film than the Marvels.
I can't remember. I think I gave them both the same or a similar rating. Go back and listen to our episodes on those and let us know, because we don't remember and we're not going to
we don't remember because they're horrible. That's why we don't remember.
Yeah. So I reckon that's a good place to kick it off.
That's a good place to kick it off.
The
Out
next
the worst film.
award.
So the
next one has nominees. Don't worry.
The next one has nominees. We're doing this properly now.
properly.
All right. So obviously every year there's a lot of films that come out, and a lot of them do very good set designs, best production design. This is what the award's going for, and everything like that. And there has been a lot of good films with a lot of good production design this year. I will admit, there's been a lot of films that haven't been like necessarily in modern day or just like modern cities or anything like that. They've all had to be like a lot of them set actually built for them. One of them led to a pink shortage and everything like that. That's a whole thing. So our nominations for this year for best production design is Asteroid City, Napoleon, Killers of the Flower Moon, Five Nights at Freddy's, and Barbie. And the award goes to... It's a long build-up. Barbie by Greta Gerwig. Hey! Oh, another one. Yes. Now, Barbie is very much deserving of the best production design, especially when it did cause a pink paint shortage worldwide because of the making of their sets.
It is crazy. We have been talking about this movie since it came out. It is still continuing to make headlines in just about every form of media since it's come out. The songs from the film are winning Grammys. The film
Yep.
itself is being nominated for Oscars. It's
Ryan Gosling just released a
insane.
new album about being Ken.
He released an album with like the same song on it 4 times, and he's selling that to people, and people are buying it, and that's the most insane thing. But yeah, production
Uh,
design. Okay, all of the films on this list are insane. A couple period pieces as well. Five Nights at Freddy's killed the game aesthetic. Napoleon made everything look amazing. Killers of the
yep.
Flower Moon also looked amazing. Those two historical ones. Asteroid City was such a cool and unique Wes Anderson style. But then there's Barbie. Barbie took it to another level. Like you
They
said, it caused a
actually
paint
built Barbie
shortage.
Land. They built the
They,
actual like Barbie structures,
yep,
life size, and
it's
it's like
insane.
what? That's insane.
And the movie itself looks good, like the entire way
Yeah.
through. The whole thing works. It all fits the same aesthetic. There isn't a
Yep.
single
Yep.
moment where you're taking out of it because it all just makes sense and
Yep.
works. And whoever the production designers were on that film, they should definitely come up and collect their golden berry because that was an
Oh,
insane
it's
job.
phenomenal. It's
Um,
phenomenal. Because yeah, I'm pretty sure like
yeah,
majority of Barbie was actually filmed on set, like the old 1960s
yeah, for the
films
most
and everything
part.
like that.
Hmm.
Because that's what Greta Gerwig wanted, because obviously that's when Barbie first came out. She wanted to originate the time of when Barbie first came out to look a lot like those films did. Because
Yeah.
it's actually funny enough, that whole like car scene that they have when she's like trying to escape Mattel and everything like that car's not actually real. It's actually a CGI car.
Wait, what? Were they sitting in like a cardboard box or something?
Yeah, yeah. Like what I know parts they were filming in a car and stuff like that in front of screens and everything like that. But there's actually a lot of CGI screens where it's
Um,
just the car itself and you don't see the people inside of it. It's actually just the car. It's like
mhm.
a CGI model of the car.
Ah. No,
It's
I
like
suppose that makes sense.
what?
Now that you bring it up, it does kind of feel that way,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's definitely yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. It's the best production design of the year. Shit killed
Yeah.
it. Like,
Yeah. And
yeah,
everything's pink and everything's amazing. Like who wouldn't want to see a
everything's
life-size
pink.
Barbie dream house and the Mojo Dosa
No,
Casa house?
Mojo Dojo Casa House.
Mojo Dojo Casa
Speaking
house?
of Mojo Dojo Casa houses, that brings us to our next award of the night. It is our award for Best Actor in a Supporting Role. Our nominees for this one are Jonathan Majors for Creed 3, Ryan Gosling for Barbie, Robert De Niro for Killers of the Flower Moon, Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer, and Chukwudi Iwuji from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And the winner is Ryan Gosling from Barbie.
Yeah, that's right. Dead is not destiny to live the life long fragility. I'm just Ken, and which he is. He is Ken, and he absolutely stole the show this year. Well, for us anyway, being Ken. It is the most wacky, most absurd character that I have ever seen in a film. And yeah, every time he was on screen in Barbie, he stood out. He is the best thing,
Yeah.
honestly, about Barbie. It's the reason why I've watched that film so many times, is just to watch Ryan Gosling.
Oh, he's great in it. And I'm so glad that everyone in the crowd stood for the national anthem when we played it just then. That was really impressive. Of all
Yeah, really impressive,
40,000
everyone.
people in the audience,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
insane.
Just well
Thank
done,
you.
guys.
Yes,
Well
thank
done.
you.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, audience. You're great. Look at them cheering for us.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, Ryan Gosling absolutely killed it in Barbie. He's the best part of that movie. And it feels a little biased considering the movie's won 2 awards in a row, but don't worry.
Yeah, don't
We're
worry.
not
It's
biased
fine.
about
We're not
Ryan
biased
Gosling.
for Barbie.
Okay.
Well, maybe a little bit.
It's
It's just
maybe a
Ryan
little
Gosling.
bit because it's justified. The film itself is great, and Ryan Gosling is a huge part of that. He kills it in this role.
Yes,
He plays
yes.
it completely seriously, despite it being so silly and over the top, which is what makes his performance all the more better because it's, this guy's done every sort of role you can think of, from musicals to serious dramas, period pieces, to
Yep.
Barbie, which kind of sits in its own realm. And it just
Oh yeah.
proves again that he's an insane actor and that this role was made for him in a weird way. Like,
Exactly.
Um,
Like, yeah, he did a phenomenal job. He brought like feel like everything that he's done in his career like has led him to becoming Ken in a way. Like doing La La Land as a musical, obviously you had to bring that to the floor with this
yeah,
play of Barbie and everything like actually singing and dancing and everything like that. And then being like this charismatic, like weird egotistical character, but take it on like a serious level. It's just at a whole nother level.
crazy.
And he's just
It's crazy.
absolutely outstanding at it. And he is
Mhm.
just Ken enough, and we are all Ken enough.
We are all Kenoff, and yeah, there's another reason why people keep bringing him up as well. Even though the rest of our nominees for this category were also insane.
Oh yeah,
Jonathan Majors in Creed 3, best
yep,
part of that movie. Awesome. Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon, another great role from an
yes,
amazing actor. It was awesome in that. Probably again, my
yep.
favorite part of that film was his performance was so
Oh
insane.
yeah,
And then Robert Downey Jr. from Oppenheimer, like that was
yeah.
also
That was
like one of the
phenomenal.
best parts of that film. And
Yeah.
then of course, Chuck Woody from Guardians. This is a tough category.
Oh yeah,
Every single person in this awards thing could have won it, and I would say, yeah, deserved
yeah,
because
yeah.
they're all really amazing performances from all of the supporting actors. But yeah, Ryan Gosling just brought that next level mojo dojo to it, you know?
Exactly. He
he,
did bring
he
his
brought the
mojo
mojo
to
dojo
it.
to the Castle House. That's just
Exactly,
how it
exactly.
is.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
So moving on then to Best Actress in a Supporting Role. We have our nominations for
Ooh.
this year is Haley Atwell for Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, Scarlett Johansson in Asteroid City, Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Rachel Zegler in The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and Florence Pugh in Oppenheimer. That's right. Yeah, we've got 2 nominations for Oppenheimer because there's so many people in Oppenheimer. But
Everyone's in
this
that movie.
year, our award goes to Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer. There we go. Yeah.
The audience was a little delayed on that one.
Audience is a bit delayed on that one. That's a bit of a delay sometimes. It's all right. But yes, we gave it to Emily Blunt for Oppenheimer because she was an absolutely this outstanding along the long list of
Oh yeah,
actors that obviously are in Oppenheimer because there are many great actors and actresses in Oppenheimer.
way
But
too
yeah,
many.
Emily Blunt just bring it to a whole nother level. Playing as
Yeah.
Oppenheimer's wife and everything like that, and it was a very like different type of role for her as well. Well, the first one I've seen where it was very like serious, like you didn't see her smile and have fun too much. She was playing this very
No,
serious,
not at
more
all.
dramatic, yeah, character and everything like that, and it was just like so good to see that from her. And like this is a whole another level of her acting performance. And then yeah, every time she was on screen as well, alongside all these big actors and stuff like that, she's stood her ground against them and everything like that. She was
Yeah.
absolutely stand out in every scene she was in.
Yeah, yeah. No, the best way that I would describe her acting in this film is subtly brilliant
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like everything she did, there was not much to it, but it was perfect. Like the amount of just air emotion and like motivation you got from like a single still image of this character in any moment was
yeah,
incredible. Her performance alone is should be deserved. We should have the Emily Blunt Award because that was amazing.
yeah.
And she definitely deserves the Golden Berry for Best Supporting Actor because yeah, I mean she killed it.
Every time you say
she
Gordon
she
Barry, I'm
killed it.
just like, "Ey." I'm gonna have to make like a
It's
little like
funny.
statue of myself now, aren't I, for
Really?
next year's award?
Golden Berry? Oh, you're gonna have to. It's like a little cartoon berry on like a thing. It's like standing on top of an Oscar statue. It's like pushing it into the dirt with its foot. That's what the golden berry does.
Yeah, that's what the Golden Barry does.
Oh man. And another stacked category as well. Supporting roles. Like these are insane. Um Haley Atwell, Mission Impossible. She was my favorite part of that film.
Oh yeah,
That was
she's great.
great. Scarlett Johansson in Asteroid City, another weird role that I
Yeah,
wouldn't expect her to play, and she pulled it off really well. Again, one of the most interesting parts of that incredible film, or as Barry would describe, average film.
yeah.
but
I mean, that's the thing.
but
She was an absolute like yeah standout in that film. A lot of the actors were and stuff like
yeah,
that. But yeah, she was like one
yeah,
I remember most notably was her role in Asteroid City.
yeah, yeah. And then of course Florence Pugh from Oppenheimer as well.
Yep.
equally good, even though it just didn't have as much screen time as Emily Blunt. Didn't get
Yep.
quite as much chance to shine. But when she was on screen, she was really, really interesting and really cool. But not quite enough to win the award, unfortunately. And then, of course, Rachel Ziegler from what is the award for the longest title of a movie this year, The Hunger Games: The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah.
She was probably one of my favorite parts of that film as well. She grew on me as that film went, though. Wasn't
Yep.
quite there at the start, but got better and better as it went. But yeah, just all fell short of Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer. So yeah, that's why she
Yes.
deserves that award.
Exactly.
Cool.
Cool. Well, on to
Next one.
next one, which is you.
Okay, this is where the awards start getting like next level. This is the tier
Oh, yeah.
level. we were about halfway. Now we're about 3/4 of insane. Like, whoa, you better listen up. The audience is freaking out. Some guy over there just got like taken out by security. He was doing backflips in the parking lot. Oh, he's just fallen over. Ryan Gosling's here.
Ryan Gosling's here, everyone.
That was Barry's reaction. That wasn't a soundboard. He just saw Ryan Gosling.
That was just Ryan Gosling.
That was him. Oh, he also got taken out of security. He was the guy doing backflips. We just realized.
Exactly.
We can now confirm that Ryan Gosling has been escorted out of the building.
No,
He
Ryan
will no longer
Gosling.
be returning. Oh god. Okay. This next award is for best actor in a leading role. So this is where the main characters really shine, really show their true colors, and convince us why we think they should win this Golden Berry. Because our nominees this year,
This
our
year.
nominees are Leonardo DiCaprio for Killers of the Flower Moon, Matt Damon from Air, Michael Fassbender from The Killer, Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer, and then Jake Gyllenhaal from Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. And the winner is...
It's a long drum roll.
Cillian Murphy from Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad the audience can cheer in a different way each time. It's really impressive from the audience. Thank you, audience. No, Cillian Murphy. I don't think I've ever seen a character be portrayed in this way. I've never excuse me. I've never been more convinced of a performance for a historical figure than I have with Cillian Murphy's Oppenheimer. And I can confidently say that because this guy puts you into the mind of someone who's been dead for a while and someone that no one making this film has met. It's like an insane feat in itself. And then, of course, the level of acting that he provides and brings to this character is amazing. Plus, he looks identical to him, which is great in of itself. But yeah, no, he absolutely stole this role and made that movie because it's 3 hours of Oppenheimer talking, and it's really interesting because he's such a great performer and he's such a great actor in this film. He absolutely steals the show.
Yep. No, each minute of this film, I am like super engaged into. And that's the thing. I didn't really think much of like Oppenheimer as a person before this film and everything like that. But after actually watching this film and seeing Cillian Murphy's performance as Oppenheimer himself, I have never been more engaged. Wait. It's Cillian. It's Cillian. It's not Cillian. It's Cillian.
Okay. All right.
It's Cillian. Yeah. I was watching an interview this morning. I was like, making sure I pronounce the name right.
Cillian.
That's right. But yeah, I've never seen someone give such a good performance of being another character. Like this even won up when they did the Queen film, when Rami Malek did as Freddie Mercury. I feel like Cillian Murphy did a better job than when Rami Malek did that. Because that's the thing, each second, each minute of this film, and that's the thing, it goes for three hours long. It does not feel like 3 hours long, this film, because his performance is so captivating. Each second, what he's saying, how he does things, seeing this person's life and how it was portrayed is absolutely phenomenal. And that's the thing, I've watched this film a few times now, and that's the thing, like it's a 3 hour film. I've watched this, at least 5 times now. And I don't watch 3 hour films normally that much, and especially not in a short amount of time as well.
No. especially not ones that have come out, yeah, like 6 months ago. This
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
came out, and it's still really impressive. I watched it again the other night and was like, God, I love his performance in this. There is no
Yes.
way he doesn't win the award for best leading actor for this film because, like, there's no one on his level. This
Yeah.
movie is amazing. This acting performance is amazing. All of the other actors in this category are awesome and amazing as well, but they're just not quite on the same level of silly Killian Murphy in this one because it's another level. It's awesome. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah.
Well, I suppose that
Okay,
would take
well,
us on over to Best Actress in a Leading Role, which there has been many this year. Many good actresses coming and showing everyone around what they can do and stuff like that.
oh
So our
boy.
nominations for this year are Margot Robbie in Barbie, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Vanessa Kirby for Napoleon, Sophie Wilde for Talk to Me, and Elisa Sutherland for Evil Dead Rise. And the award goes to Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon.
Why are they laughing?
I don't know why they're laughing. But yes, that's right. We
audience-
pick Lily
okay.
Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon because, oh my gosh, what a phenomenal performance by Lily Gladstone. I will admit, this is her first ever feature film, and she stood up against giants of Hollywood in this film. She was up against Leonardo
boy.
DiCaprio and Robert De Niro in this film, and she absolutely
Yep.
stood her ground in this film. She is like the
Yeah.
number one performance of this film, and the reason why I actually enjoyed this film, and really much looking forward to the extended version of this film when it eventually comes out on digital and
Yeah.
everything like that.
Yep.
Because it is absolutely phenomenal. Her performance it's so great.
Is insane. It is, oh my God, it is a nearly insurmountable task to like compete in an acting level with Leonardo DiCaprio and Robert De Niro, two of like the biggest actors in
Yeah.
modern history, right? And outshine both of them?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yep.
Especially when your character doesn't really do much for the entire film. She spends quite a fair bit of this film in bed sick, dying from poison. Spoilers for that movie if you haven't seen it. Sorry, audience. But she kills it. She
Yeah.
kills this role. She outshines Leonardo DiCaprio in just about every scene. She makes him like sit down, like this is how you do it. And she makes that story because that story wouldn't be anything without her or without her character. And I really want to see the extended version where we get to see a lot more because she's so entertaining to watch on the screen. She brings such a unique chemistry to the other main characters in this film and unique viewpoint on the whole story itself. It was just so good to see, and I loved it. I loved every part of her role in this film.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, obviously, other nominees and everything like that. Like, it was very close for me to be like also say Margot Robbie this year for her Barbie performance because I also find that phenomenal as well. The way Margot Robbie was able to portray Barbie and bringing that whole character to life and everything like that. But yeah, Lily Gladstone just bring it to that next level of acting. And this is the thing. This is her first ever feature film. And I just can't get over like her performance in it. Like, it's amazing, and I'm looking forward to see what she does next.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I'm not the best part about this category is that 3 of the nominees are Australian. Like that alone
Really?
is
Oh
just
yeah,
impressive.
yeah,
Margot Robbie from Barbie, Sophie
Yep.
Wilde from Talk to Me, and then Alyssa Sutherland from Evil Dead
Sutherland.
Rise. They're
Yeah.
all Aussies,
Yep.
and like that's just so cool to see. I love seeing that.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, they were outshined by some better performances, but all of them were great in of themselves and like the best parts of their respective movies, for the
Yep.
most part. But I saw that when we were writing down the nominees, and I was like, oh god, that's so cool. Like
That is
3 of them
cool.
are
That is cool.
Australian.
I
That's
just
amazing.
realized that. Wow.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah. No, I had to bring that up because it's great. Go support
That
all
is
of
great
those
to see.
movies because we
Oh,
love
yeah,
Australian.
they're all Australians.
Yeah.
So go watch them.
Go for it. Hell yeah. Okay, well, moving away from actresses in a leading role. This is the final tier, bro. This is where shit gets serious. Because now we're moving into some best films of the year. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. The first category that we'd like to talk about, ignore my little thing. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm just like, what is he doing?
Alright, he's losing it. He's losing his mind. Been doing this podcast for way too long. That's right, audience. Laugh at your misfortunes. You paid money to be here.
Yeah, we're
No,
selling
don't leave
$100
me,
tickets.
audience. I was joking. $100 tickets. Jesus
$100 tickets.
Christ.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a premium to get in
How
my
did we get
office.
any audience? I like to imagine there's 30,000 people just on the other
Yeah,
side of your
just on the
computer
other
there.
side of the screen, there's just like 30,000 people. I'm like, I'm terrified.
Like-
I'm going to die
It's
after
like the
this.
Seinfeld stage. The back of your room's a sitcom stage, and then just everything else is like an auditorium.
Wait a minute.
That would make sense.
That would make sense.
Honestly.
That would make
I
sense.
wouldn't bat an
Yeah.
eye.
No. I live on a sitcom
Alright.
stage.
Yeah, I believe it. I really genuinely would believe that. And you know what else I'd believe? That our next award is for the best animated feature of 2023. There were so many great animated films that we kind of had to throw together its own category.
Yes,
We felt
yes,
like
there was
it
a
would
lot of
be a
animated
little bit
films.
unfair to include some animated films in other categories like that. So we wanted it to have its own category just to highlight how impressive some of these films were.
Yep,
So
yep.
yeah, of course we're gonna throw it together with some nominees. The first one being the Super Mario Bros. Movie, followed by Nimona, The Boy and the Heron, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. And the winner for Best Animated Feature Film goes to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. A well-deserved win. Thank you, audience.
There they go. They just have
Yes,
to cut every
indeed.
now and
They have to do that. Okay, so yeah, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It is not often that a movie comes out in this day and age that is a better sequel than the previous one. Quite often it's the other way around.
Other way around.
Especially in the last 5 years or so. But this film took everything that made the first film Into the Spider-Verse so great and then just doubled down and expanded on everything in the most insane creative ways. And this is also a part one. This film ends on a
Yes.
cliffhanger and it's still like the best animated film of the year, which is another insane feat in itself. This is a 2.5 hour long animated movie that ends on a cliffhanger and everyone loves it because it's just that well done. It has an insane voice cast, insane performance from everyone like involved. The storyline is amazing. The writing
insane animation styles to this. I think I
styles,
can't remember how many styles of art or animation there was in this. And that's the thing. Obviously, like at the moment, we're working on things that very much involve animation, and I have the utmost respect for every single person behind this film that was doing all the animation for the stuff, because how many different worlds that they had to show and everything like that, each of them being their own unique style. And it was on a whole nother level. Each and every single one that we saw in this film. And there is literally thousands of different styles in this film. Absolute thousands.
Yes, it is insane. There are thousands of unique character models in this movie alone. Like doing that is an insane feat. But the fact that the rest of the movie itself came together so well. If this movie was just really cool animation and then terrible everything else, it'd still be enjoyable, but it would nowhere near win an award. But this film just takes everything that makes a movie good and combines it with some of the best animation that I've ever seen. Like this film takes everything to another level. It makes me never want to try animating because I'll never be half as good as anything that they did in this film.
Oh yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, but it's so great and I love it. It's quickly like rising the ranks of like best Spider-Man movie, best superhero movie. It's not quite there for my personal opinion, but it's close because it's
close.
really good and really impressive. And I really want the sequel to come out, but it's still delayed, so we'll have to see when that comes. Probably
it will
another 2
come out
years.
eventually. It will get there. That is, it takes time to do animation. That's the reason why. Okay, so that brings us on to our next award, which is going to be for Best
Yeah.
Action Comedy Feature Film of the Year. Because there was quite
Yeah.
a few action comedy films this year, and we thought this type of genre deserved its own award as well, just because there was quite a few of them, and every single one of them was very entertaining. So the nominations for this year are Cocaine Bear, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, John Wick Chapter 4, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And the award goes to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Good job, James Gunn, for going out with a bang at the Marvel Studios. It's just top notch work, top notch.
Well said,
All right,
Barry.
send it out,
Well
audience.
said. No. Calm down, guys. We're not paying you to
Calm down.
laugh.
Yeah.
Brr. No. Did you want to talk about this film first?
Yeah. So Guardians of the Galaxy. What a phenomenal Marvel film. I have to say, like, that entire trilogy was absolutely great, and being able to see the end result of that and seeing the story James Gunn was able to produce with everything that happened at Disney and stuff like that, and to be able to actually finish the story and finish his trilogy was great to see. And it was also very touching to say, like, almost goodbye to quite a few of these characters and everything like that in the movie. And I feel like it was a good send off for those characters and everyone, and especially James Gunn as well, because now he's going, obviously he's in charge of DC and everything like that, looking forward very much what he's doing. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, just what a phenomenal film. It had comedy, it had action, it had sadness, it had emotion to it. You know, I felt so attached, and I suppose that's a common thing in the Guardians films, and the reason why James Gunn's such a good director and writer and what he does and everything like that is because a lot of his films do have that emotional side to him, and he definitely showed that in Guardians of the Galaxy. That there was this family of people, and we had to say goodbye to him essentially.
Yeah, this film has done something that the MCU hasn't done in a long time in the movies. It's made you care about characters. Like,
yeah.
the Guardians franchise as a whole took characters that no one had ever heard of.
Yep.
Like, no one, not even people who read the comics knew. They're like the Guardians of the Galaxy. Who? Yeah, well, you're a nerd, Barry. Everyone except Barry didn't know who the Guardians of the Galaxy were. And then James Gunn took it and made it the best team in the MCU, the most consistently good team in the MCU, because they haven't had a bad film. Everything they've been in has been good. It's been insane. And then Guardians 3 is my second favorite of the franchise. The first one's just such an impressive feat in and of itself, but the third one is an amazing ending to that trilogy and to that ending point of the MCU, building it into the newer stuff. But yeah, it took all of these characters, made you care about them, and also gave us like probably like the most depressing like MCU story as well in a while.
Oh,
It was heart-wrenching, but also so action-packed. It has some of the best action scenes out of an MCU film, some of the best writing, best characters, some of the best villains. Like the main villain in this, the High Evolutionary. There was a reason we nominated him for Best Supporting Actor, because he kills it in this. He's been the best villain since Thanos, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was insane. Insanely good. Every single part of this movie was perfect. And this was the first 10 that I gave on the podcast was for Guardians 3.
Yes, it was.
Like,
Yep.
that alone is insane. So yeah, it definitely deserves Best Action/Comedy Feature. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Also had a great soundtrack. Give it.
Oh yeah, they always do. Each Guardian film has always had a great soundtrack.
Oh, I love the soundtrack. I have them all. They're great.
Yeah. You can actually still get them on like tape deck as well. They actually make tape deck versions of it. I was like, ooh, I actually might get them and put them in my car.
Oh, that's so tempting. I should. Oh, I've got a cassette player. I should definitely do that. I have them on CD because I've got a CD Walkman as well, so I can just plug that in and just pretend that I'm Star-Lord.
Nice. I'm Star-Lord.
Star-Lord, man.
Who?
Exactly. Okay. All right. Moving away from Best Action Comedy. The next one is Best Director. This is, God, another stacked category. And in another incredibly hard category, our team of producers and writers putting together this list was
Yes,
an insane
yes,
amount of work. They all
definitely.
of them stayed up late at the office every night
Especially
this
you,
week in
Steve.
order to get this
You
list
know, good
perfected.
job, Steve. Thanks for
Yeah,
staying
we
working over
love you,
Christmas,
Steve.
Steve.
Everybody say thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve. You're welcome, Steve. We will send
That's for
him a
Steve.
Christmas bonus. That's for Steve, just for Steve.
Yeah, that's for Steve.
Anyway, this isn't the Steve Award. This is the award for Best Director. And the nominees for this award are Ben Affleck for Air, Michael B. Jordan for Creed 3, Greta Gerwig for Barbie, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, and Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon. And the winner for Best Director is Michael B. Jordan for Creed 3. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Oh, the most
The crowd's
impressive
going
part
wild. The crowd's
about this.
going wild.
They're going insane. Someone just got shot in the back row. Oh, God.
We don't have that sound
Okay,
effect.
are we gonna keep making? Oh no! Someone was shot in the back row. How long are we gonna keep the audience joke going? Because I feel like it's getting. There, they died. See, got them. We had a sound effect. We don't need to stop the joke. The bit continues. Woo! But no, the most impressive part about Michael B. Jordan's Creed 3 is that this is his directorial debut.
Yes.
He's never directed a film before this. He's acted in plenty of films, but he's never directed one. And then the fact that he comes out and his first directorial feature is really good. It is one of the best boxing movies ever made. One of the best action films ever made. And that's in the Rocky franchise. Like, that defined both of those.
Yes.
Like, that's insane. This guy comes out as well as starring in it. That's another factor that we took into account. Is he's also the main guy. So he's directing himself, which is not easy. As someone who's directed and acted in things, it's insanely hard. So that's why he wins this award in an already stacked category. Barry, would you like to talk about?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because obviously there are other nominations in this category where obviously they're very well experienced, and most likely there are other people that are going to win at the Oscars and other awards this year. But we just felt like for us here at We Talk Film that Michael B. Jordan deserves a bit more of recognition just because of what he achieved in this film. And this is what we talked about when we did our Rocky franchise podcast and everything. Like, make sure to go and check it out and everything like Creed 3 is basically just on par, if not just a little bit below the original Rocky film for me. Like, it is a phenomenal
it's good
boxing film. It's a phenomenal sport. It's just a phenomenal film in general. And that's the thing. This is Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, and he was able to bring a compelling performance in it while also directing Jonathan Majors, who was obviously nominated in our things for best supporting role, and then also coming up with this story and able to direct all these other actors and actresses and showing what he could do for in his film, and then also starring in it. Like, it's a phenomenal feat that he's been able to achieve. And it was so great the other day because Variety at the moment, they are doing directors on directors, and it was so good to see him and Ben Affleck sitting down. Like, Ben Affleck to me is one of my favorite directors of all time, if not the favorite director, my favorite director of all time.
And he's on this list as well.
He's on his list as well. And then those two talking to one another, and it was mainly just Ben Affleck in awe of how well Michael B. Jordan did of directing Creed 3. Like, he thought it was a phenomenal job as well.
Right.
And it's like that's insane.
It's deserved. It's definitely deserved. And I will say this is the one director on this list that I am most excited for what they do next. Because it's like, if this is their first thing, imagine what their next thing is going to be like. They're going to get even more studio support. They're going to have even more free reign on things. They're going to get to do something different. I assume he wants to do something different. I don't know if he's doing a Creed thing next. I think he's just going to do something on his own.
But I'm looking forward to whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it is, I'm really excited, and I hope
it's going to be an anime.
Because he's obviously
I guarantee
good at
it's going to be an anime.
See, that sounds awesome as well.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, go for it, Michael B. Jordan. You can do what you want now. Like, that's awesome. And then of course the rest of the directors on this list. equally amazing. Anyone could have won this award, and I'd be fine with it. All of these
Oh
awards,
yeah,
they
of
all
these
have great nominees.
nominations. Yeah,
Um, yeah, it's almost like we picked them from movies that we watched. It's
yeah,
like that's
yeah.
insane.
It's almost like we did a podcast or something this
also-
past year.
We're doing a podcast. Wait,
We doing a podcast.
have we been doing a
It was
podcast this
maybe.
entire time? I thought we were just talking to each other in like a weird
was-
way. I
Exactly.
thought this was all a joke.
I mean,
Have I been
what we do
Truman
anyway.
Showed this entire time?
Wait a minute.
that a
I am
camera?
on a.
You're on a film
So
set?
freaking out. I'm on a film set, Clayton. There's people all behind me.
They're bringing out neuralizers and Men in Black. They're all sad about it now because the show's
all
over.
sad.
The ruse is over. They figured us out. They found out the Wizard of Oz is actually just a guy.
Unreal.
The curtain's pulled down. Barry's actually just a dude.
I'm a dude.
Barry.
I thought I was Ken.
What's going on? Where were we? Okay, yeah, what? That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something. Getting unhinged. We're losing our
We are
minds.
getting unhinged.
What was I gonna say? Yes, sorry. Creed 3. Another important thing is that was one of our first episodes. I think it was like our second or third episode. Like we did Cocaine
Something
Bear,
along
and then
those
I think it
lines.
was Creed was second.
Yeah,
because Last of Us was third episode. Yeah, Creed was second. So this is our second episode. That's 40 episodes ago, and we're still in
Wow.
awe of how amazing it is.
Yeah.
That's
That makes
at
sense.
least 40 hours of our time talking about other films in
Yep.
front of a camera, and then going back to the one we talked about 42 hours ago. Like, that's insane.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
a great film.
And that's the
Okay.
thing, I will probably
so
watch it
after
again over the
Creed-
next week, most likely.
I'll watch it eventually. I don't know if it's over the next week, but I'll watch it eventually. I'm not as keen as you, Barry. I'm not watching 20 films a night. Maybe one film at a week. That. Oh god. But yeah, after Creed 3, this brings us to our special surprise segment of the show.
Special surprise segment?
It's a special surprise segment. None of the audience know about this special surprise. Is because we're getting a whole bunch of guests. We're stacking this episode, baby. You thought like that one time we had James on was impressive? Well, oh boy, we've got everyone else because this is our fan section for the We Talk Fan Awards, I guess we're calling that now.
Yeah. We talk fan awards.
For
Why
the We
not?
Talk Fan Awards. So, if you guys will just join us for a moment, we'd like to listen to some clips that have been sent in by fans describing their favorite movie from the year and why that is.
My favourite movie of the year was Oppenheimer. I really enjoyed it. It was just, a cinematic masterpiece. Christopher Nolan can make anything interesting, and I really am not the kind of person who would sit and watch a 3-hour movie, but that one kept my attention throughout the entire film because it was just so immersive and interesting, and I loved it. It was really just, it was an awesome, awesome movie.
Hey, it's me, Peter Griffin here from the hit show Family Guy. I just want to say I'm an avid listener of the podcast WTF or We Talk Film, and I definitely love the Barry guy, not so much the Clayton guy, but definitely the Barry guy. He has interesting takes that I quite enjoy listening to, but not that Clayton guy. My friend Joe wants that word. Oh, it's me, Joel. I'm actually like Clayton more than Barry. Well, I'm going to take the phone from Joe now because he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Okay. Oh, and welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone.
That was our
welcome
fan
is
award.
part. That was our fan awards. They're all still celebrating. They're all still there.
Really,
That's all the fans.
They love
all
our fans.
500,000 of them. They're all in my office, Clayton. They're all here. They're all just behind the camera.
they're all there.
It's kind of creepy.
Some really amazing takes on that. There was some
Yeah.
great choices and some not so great choices, but we won't single you out, Isaiah. But we'll
I love you,
we
buddy. It's
will
all right.
move. No, we really want to do. We do really want to thank our fans. this year, because at one point
Yes, we do.
in the year we were sitting at number 35, charting the podcast in Australia somehow. We've had almost 600 listens to the podcast, hopefully cracking 600 when this episode drops. What do you mean
Yep,
drops?
yep.
We're recording it live.
We're recording it live. Yeah,
When-
yeah, we're all live.
When the views come through. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all live. Live audience. Exactly.
I feel like the amount of times you're pressing that button, it feels like we're in like the Big Bang Theory or something. I'm gonna walk in and say like, "Hi, Barry," and then a laugh track plays. See? Yeah, that's right. I'm onto you.
Yeah.
But no,
Wait a minute. They know the code
we
word.
really wanted to do that.
Yeah.
We really wanted to include it.
We didn't see it.
our fans.
Thanks everyone for joining us along this journey this past year. It has been a phenomenal year. This is our first ever year of doing the podcast, and hopefully we will be doing it again a whole another year coming next year with all new things, all new us. Just Clayton and I going back and forth, same as always, but with a
God.
few added twists maybe next year. We will see what has yet to come.
Wait,
Dun,
you mean
dun,
we're gonna
dun.
start like taking notes or planning this shit? Like, is that what?
We take
That
notes
might be
now?
a bit too much, Barry. I don't know if I can commit to that. Notes.
Notes.
I don't even have a pen.
What are words?
Oh God, Barry.
Oh God.
Words. Ah!
So I suppose
All
that
right,
brings
we
us
have-
to the final part of tonight's podcast. There's only 3
Oh
more
God.
awards to give out for tonight.
One of us will be shot live on stage, and we don't know who. It's gonna be random at the end of the episode. One of
I
us
need
will
to
not
get
be
a
returning.
gunshot sound
Dun, dun,
effect.
dun.
But
What do you
yes, I
sound effect?
suppose. wait. I suppose we'll go on to our best or TV show of the year. This was something because obviously, besides doing films, even though we are called We Talk Films, we also did discuss a lot about a lot of TV shows that come out this year, and a lot of them have been phenomenal. So the nominations for this year are Loki Season 2, Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2, Last of Us, Gen V, and Ahsoka. And the award goes to Loki Season 2. Good job, everyone. Good job, Marvel. You actually made a good MCU show, and probably the only good MCU
Yes.
show at this point in time. Yes, because
Yeah, the
Loki
best MCU show.
has been absolutely phenomenal. I have actually gone back and watched this show at least a few times now, and each episode at least more than a couple of times.
Insane.
Because that's the thing, and season 2 bring it to a whole nother level. The cinematography alone is absolutely phenomenal. The way they did the shoots, and then we put it
So
down to the
stellar,
actual
yeah.
performances of Tom Hiddleston as Loki in the show is just outstanding. I could not think of a better way to progress the Loki character in the way that the writers and everything did this way. And then Owen Wilson and then just everyone else that was there in the show, it just absolutely did a phenomenal job. And then, the actual writers as well did absolutely phenomenal. This is some of the best writing I have seen since early stages of Marvel.
Since Infinity War Endgame, probably. 'Cause
Yeah,
those two
yeah.
were awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely agree. This is really tough considering it's a season 2. It's a sequel to a show that they didn't know if there was going to get a sequel. So
Yeah,
that alone is an incredible feat. It's also a Marvel show, which means there is so many restrictions and things you've got to take into account. So the fact that they managed to create something so amazing under the almighty control of Mr. Disney and Marvel is equally
Oh, yeah.
impressive, because that's very hard to do. Especially because Marvel's been really terrible lately, and Loki was such a breath of fresh air both seasons. That I am so glad that we got to see this show, and I'm so glad that the writer for it, the showrunner, is being attached to so many more Marvel projects, because clearly they're good at it and clearly they can do it well.
Yes, they can.
And again, it's a very, very close category. The Last of Us was probably my runner-up. That was amazing, and then Bad Batch season 2 was just as good. I love that one
Yep,
as well.
yep.
Gen V was amazing. Ahsoka was not quite as amazing, but it was still good. So
It's still good. It's still good. I enjoyed it.
we're in a good year for Marvel and TV shows for the most part. I mean, we've
Yep.
had some stinkers, like Secret Invasion, cough cough. But
Yeah.
we have some really impressive things, like the good one.
Exactly.
But yeah. So yeah, TV show of the year, Loki season 2. Go check it out if you
Loki
haven't.
season 2.
It's really good. It's really
Yes,
good.
yes, it is.
All right, moving over. This is a real special category because we've got one to give each.
Oh, yes, yes,
I
we
know what
do.
you're thinking.
Ooh.
No, we're not gonna kiss. We're gonna give our personal picks for film of the year.
All right. So, do you want to give your personal
The
pick
audience was
first?
very Thank you, audience. Yeah, so this is our individualized picks before we get to the big one. These are our personal favorite. That not necessarily the best film of the year. They might be, we don't know, but they're our personal favorite. They either mean the most to us or we enjoyed them the best. The ones that we enjoyed the most, even if it
Yes.
was a bad film. So these could be the worst films that we've ever seen, but if we liked it the best, we can win.
Yeah,
So there's
exactly.
absolutely no restrictions on what I let Bear pick for this award. So
It
let's
could
have
be
fun with that.
anything. It's not even related to the
Because
podcast.
it could be absolutely anything.
It's the Gronxicist,
It's
Clayton. I loved it that much.
Oh God, no! Oh God,
Uh...
mine was out of this world. No. My film, my personal favorite, my personal pick of the year. No nominees, so drum roll. It is Air. It's Air. It's
Yeah,
a movie
it's Air.
that I did not expect to be good
Yeah.
in any
no,
way.
This...
I expected this film to kind of suck,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
like my favorite film of the year.
Oh yeah. No, this was an
I keep
absolute
cutting you
great
off there.
film. Obviously, yeah. This was directed by Ben Affleck. Starred Matt Damon as the leading role in it, and also Jason Bateman there as a supporting actor in it as well.
everyone
And yeah, it was one of those films
Totally.
where going into it, you didn't think much of it because it's literally just about a shoe, but it's way more than just about a
Yeah,
shoe. That's for
wow.
sure.
How good can a movie about a shoe be? And then you're like, okay, that was really amazing. And this would also probably win my favorite soundtrack of the year. It topped Guardians 3 for best soundtrack, I reckon.
Oh
Like
yeah, it had a good
this
soundtrack.
movie alone was awesome. I love the 80s vibe to it. Also Ben Affleck's great in it, and his get up with his glasses and everything. And it's
And
also
it looks great.
really funny and also really historically accurate. All of the events and things that happen in this film, even the crazy outfits that Ben Affleck wears, are all real.
Yeah.
There's real
Yeah.
photographs, and it's great. But yeah, you thought that a movie about the making of a shoe, when it's starring Michael Jordan, not Michael B. Jordan, Michael Jordan, the basketball player,
there's
not
a
the
difference.
actor director. Like, how do you steal this show away from the greatest
Yeah.
basketball player
And
of all
that's the
time
thing.
and
Doesn't
make a
have
movie
Michael
about
Jordan
a
in
shoe?
it at all. You don't see Michael Jordan.
No. No, you see the back of his head. It's
See the
like
back
2
of his head.
seconds.
That's it.
Like, his mum's in it though, and that's great.
Yeah.
But it's such a good movie, and it's such a
is
feel-good
great.
film. It's such a unique. Yeah, in every way, I love this film in every way. I think I gave it a 9 out of 10, honestly. But the more I
Yep.
went back and rewatched it, and I think it's a 10 out of 10 because it's just an amazing film.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
runner-up though would probably be Asteroid City, but I know that
Yes,
you would have
you
hated
really
me
loved
if I
that.
picked that one.
You really
but
loved Asteroid City. That's the thing.
I
That's
really
this
love
is your favorite personal pick of the year, and I know that you love Asteroid City and stuff like that. And this disappointed in you just a little bit.
Why? I liked Air better. Like, shut
Yeah.
up, Barry.
I know.
Thought you'd
I would have
agree
also
with me.
said Air,
Gosh.
but my personal pick of this year that I absolutely loved and still love every time I watch it is The Killer.
Yeah.
There they are. This took a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They gotta warm
Yeah, so
up.
they gotta warm up. They gotta do the vocal exercises before they start screaming and hollering. But yes, this is a film that I have watched, I think, around 10 times now since the release of it. And this film
Jesus.
is turning in, well, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. The more I deep dive into this film, how it was made, the performance done by Michael Fassbender, the direction by David Fincher himself, obviously doing Fight Club and a lot of films I absolutely adore so much. And then he did this film, and I love every single second of it, and I want to see more of this type of film. Because
Yeah.
like every single second of it, and that's the thing, it's only a short film, like it's only like a 90-minute film. And it's great. It's great.
Great.
Like every single second. Like the first opening to it is like
It's great.
a 20-minute monologue of Michael Fassbender of like trying to basically murder a guy because he's an assassin, and then basically fucks it up. I'm just like, this is perfect.
It is amazing. I will say
Yeah.
the opening section of this film is my favorite opening of a film from the year.
Yeah.
Like that
Yep.
tops everything else. I don't think
Yep.
anything else comes close to it, opening wise. It's on another level because it puts you in this guy's mind in such an awesome way, and it provides this really cool look into a sort of killer hitman style movie that we haven't seen, because quite often hitman style movies don't feature the Smiths, so it's unique and amazing in its own way. So I'm very glad you picked it, because it definitely deserves an award. It's a great film. It deserves the goldenest golden berry.
The goldenest of
your
golden
personal
berries.
pick.
They get the shiny, mystic, mythic level. It's like, you know, a Pokemon, a
It's like
shiny
a rare
Pokemon card. Exactly.
It's a shiny Charizard.
It's a shiny
Worth slightly more
Charizard.
if you keep it in its foil.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah,
That's
each
what
time I
it's
keep
like.
going back to watch this film, I find something more unique about it and how they made it all. Exactly. That opening scene to it is just like, that was actually just on like on a studio with a whole bunch of green screens. They didn't film it in France whatsoever. He's just looking out of a window onto a green screen
Which is
set, and I'm just
insane.
like, what? And then the whole like scooter scene as
All of that
well.
looks
It's
real.
not actually real. It's a fake Michael
Scary.
Fassbender. I'm just like, what?
It must- It's scary. It's scary impressive.
It's scary. It's
Scarily
scary impressive.
It's great.
Yeah, it's
All
great.
right.
It's a great film.
It is a great film. And you know what else is a great film, Barry? Do you know what else is a great film, Barry? Do you
What else
know
is
what
a great film?
film
What is a
Barry?
great film? What is it?
Well, I'd like to think that by now we have some authority on what makes a great film. I think we've done
we've been
enough
doing this for a year.
episodes to. We've been doing this for a
Just
year.
about.
We're qualified movie critics. We can put that on business cards and shit now. Like,
Hey,
can do
we
that whole
have
thing.
diplomas in film and media. We can say shit now.
Dude.
Yeah,
got
that was
mine
also
in the
another
mail. That was such a
achievement
cool
we
thing.
did this year, you and I.
Yeah, we're qualified filmmakers now and film critics. Look at us.
Hey,
In
look
a
at us.
span of a
We're doing
year,
things.
we've talked film.
We have
talked a lot of film.
We've talked a lot of film. Like a lot of film.
Oh, I swear, it's like it's almost too much film. Like, we can't handle any more film. We couldn't handle any more film if we tried.
No, I can handle.
All
I can
right.
handle a lot more film.
let's get to the big one.
Let's get to the big
is
one.
The award for film of the year. This is all the audiences are leaning forward in their seat. Half of them have had heart attacks. The other half have had strokes, trying to imagine what's going on. Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
that's
with the
my
audience.
reaction to that whole thing. Oh, are they okay? Should we call an ambulance? Someone want to check on them? Never mind, they're fine.
They're fine.
It's so stupid.
Oh, one of them might be
I
dead.
love it. It's so stupid. All right. Oh god. Did you download a gun sound effect while we were waiting? Is that something you just did? And all right. Okay, film of the year. This is
Film
the
of
gold
the
berry,
year.
the goldenest of golden berries.
Yeah, they get the super
award
shiny
for the
Charizard
greatest
card.
film of the year. They get a super shiny card. All right, so the nominees for this award, the final award of the night, are Air, Oppenheimer, Creed 3, The Killer, and Barbie. And the award for film of the year goes to...
Oppenheimer!
Oh, it's Oppenheimer. I meant Oppenheimer. That's what I meant. What?
Yes, Oppenheimer.
It's Oppenheimer.
It's Oppenheimer. Definitely 100% Oppenheimer, not The Flash.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I said, right? Oppenheimer.
Yeah. There's no other film mentioned.
Yeah.
Come on.
What other film? There's no other films, because this film stole the year. This was the greatest film of the year for a reason. It is a
Oh, yeah.
3-hour film that feels like a 2-hour film. It has the greatest performances of the year. Every single
Yep.
category this thing could have been nominated in, it was nominated in.
Yep.
On our awards and the Oscars by the looks of it. This is insane just how impressive this film is. It's a historical drama with no action.
Nope.
There's one scene of action, but even that's more of drama that like keeps you entertained the whole way through. Do you know how hard that is? Do you know how hard like 5 minutes of just talking is to do in a
Yeah.
movie? This is 3
This is
hours of
just
some of the
3
coolest and
hours.
most amazing dialogue you've ever heard.
Yep.
And it's so entertaining the whole way through. You're hooked from start to finish because it is the greatest film of the year, and quite a few people are putting it on their lists. Even some of our fans had it on their list. The
Yeah,
greatest
yeah.
film. So
Well, that's
very
the thing.
pleased
It
to talk about
absolutely, like, yeah,
Oppenheimer.
it stole the show. Like, this is one of the best films that I have honestly seen, like, over the past 12 years,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest. Like, I cannot remember a time where I have been so amazed or memorized by a film, and getting into that mindset of Oppenheimer and his life and what happened during the Manhattan Project and everything like that behind it all is just, it's at a whole nother level. And that's the thing. It's definitely like probably the best biographic film I've seen. Well, definitely my favorite of all time.
I'd say
that's for sure.
Yes, definitely.
And yeah,
I'd
this
agree.
is the thing. This is the reason why we gave Cillian Murphy as well the award for Best Actor, is because he absolutely stole the show as Oppenheimer, and he absolutely became I Am Death, Destroyer of Worlds, Mr. Oppenheimer himself.
He did.
And yeah,
This is amazing.
he carried this film.
This
He
film,
carried this film, and I really hope
he
that he
carried
gets
this
all the
film.
award and all the attention, and we see him actually get recognition now that he should have been getting for this film.
I reckon he will win an Oscar for this film in some way because it's insane. This film is definitely going to win more than one award. I'm calling that now.
Oh yeah. Oh
because
yeah.
it's impressive. It's won more than one award on our show. It needs to calm down. But yes, no, this film does something that I don't think I've ever seen. And is this film puts you in the mind of someone unlike any other film I've ever seen. Like, this is the greatest biographical film I've probably have ever seen as well. I keep saying that because it's true. Yeah, it tops all of the other historical ones this year. Napoleon, Killers of the Flower Moon. They both don't hold a par to this. This is insane. The only one that I put close is Air, but that's still quite far behind Oppenheimer because Oppenheimer was just such an amazing film.
I don't know what happened there. Something happened. But yes, Oppenheimer, absolute standout film. It deserves all the love and attention it took to it. Christopher Nolan directing it, did a phenomenal thing for it. And oddly enough, the story, like, for him, the reason why he actually wants to do Oppenheimer was because of Robert Pattinson. Because Robert Pattinson actually gave him a book about Oppenheimer while they were filming Tenet. And then he read that, and then it was just like, I actually want to make a film about Oppenheimer now because of that.
It's so
And that's
cool.
the thing.
I love
I'm
little
glad
stories
we got
like
it.
that.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm so glad as well because it's the best movie of the year, and it's honestly one of my favorite movies to come out in the last decade, if not all time, because it's impressive. And Christopher Nolan continues to make bangers. Even if Memento is still my favorite of his, he still makes good films. Like, I can't think of a bad one he's done. They're all at least enjoyable.
All
in
his
some
films
way.
are enjoyable to watch.
They're all good. So yeah, it's definitely well deserved. Everyone on Oppenheimer, we know you're listening. The entire cast, I'm sure you're all listening to this together as some sort of big event.
Yeah.
Thank you. Come on the show.
Cillian Murphy, phone me up right now. You know, we'll get you on next week. So we'll get you the first episode of season 2 of We Talk Film.
Oh God, can you imagine? Like, which goes from this to that.
Like every single week we have
We
like
cry.
a famous actor or like person in the industry every single week for season 2. It's just a total change up.
Can we do that? Let's do that.
We can try
Get
to.
my manager on that. We'll get our agent. Yeah, go.
We'll get our agent on it.
Get our production team onto that.
Steve.
Yeah.
You can work tomorrow night. Yeah, New Year's Eve. Yeah. Okay. you got the Steve.
Craig. Yeah,
and Craig. Good old
Craig,
Craig.
sound recorders. Yeah, he's definitely going to get him onto that too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our final episode of the year. Thanks for coming, folks. That yibbity doobity. That's all, folks.
That's all.
Other catchphrases that we say all the time.
Yes. So thanks so much, everyone, for joining us this past year on We Talk Film. Hopefully, you'll stick around for season 2 of We Talk Film, a whole another year of Clayton and I coming to you very
God.
soon. And I suppose we will see you next week here, as always, on We Talk Film. Catch you guys later.
Oh God, do I have to come back next week?
Yes, you do, Clayton. It's in the contract.
He's got my family held hostage, forcing me to do this podcast.
Yep.
Okay, and stop recording.